Time Warner Cable is pleased to be an underwriting sponsor for Carolina Week.
Coming up on the September 10th edition of Carolina Week. 7 years ago, we witnessed the largest terrorist attack ever on U.S. soil. We'll show you how September 11th still affects America today.
Water levels in the area are up, but what's in the water?
In sports, it's definitely a transition year for the Carolina football team.
Weathercaster John Boyer will join us and tell us if it's time to put those rain boots away yet.
Plus, saving money by spending it locally. Carolina Week starts right now.
From the James F. Goodman Studio in the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, connecting campus and community, this is Carolina Week.
Welcome to the Wednesday edition of Carolina Week. I'm Jason Kahn.
And I'm Carly Swain. Thank you for joining us. 7 years ago, on September 11th, 2001, American society changed forever.
Reporter Rebecca Hilton tells us how the terrorist attacks on that day affected one UNC student and how the attacks continue to affect America today.
On September 11th, 2001, 2 planes crashed into the World Trade Center. A third struck the Pentagon. A fourth crashed in Pennsylvania. UNC student Caitlin Ross is a senior from Freehold, New Jersey. She remembers what was going through her mind that day because she lived so close to New York City.
When you hear about something like that happen, your mind immediately starts going to, oh my God, who do I know that works there? And you know, I know none of my family members work there, but I'm trying to think of people, friends of mine's parents who works there.
The attacks on September 11th affected Ross for a long time.
I could see just black smoke just billowing from the area, from the direction of New York. And you could just smell this awful, just burning smell that I don't know what else it could have been but that. And it was pretty sickening. That kind of affected me for a while. That shook me up a lot.
Ross has had time to move on from the initial shock and emotional impact of the attack. But although the attack was 7 years ago, it's left implications that still affect America today. UNC political science professor George Rabinowitz says the attack has changed U.S. politics.
In general, our politics is now taking a much harsher, kind of tougher, much less domestically oriented and more oriented towards a defensive posture.
Rabinowitz says the events of 9/11 will have an impact on this year's elections.
The insecurity that people feel that stem directly from 9/11 is definitely a component that will influence this election.
Ross remembers the insecurity she felt after September 11th, but she also remembers how Americans united in its aftermath.
It is kind of nice and I guess in a way bittersweet to think about how unified we really were in those months afterwards. And you know, it's a place I hope we can all get to someday and someday soon.
In Chapel Hill, I'm Rebecca Hilton, Carolina Week.
Tomorrow morning, the UNC ROTC is hosting a 5K run in honor of those who died in the September 11th attacks. The National Institute of Corrections is suggesting a number of changes to the North Carolina system following the deaths of UNC student body president Eve Carson and Duke grad student Abhijit Mahato. The 2 men charged in the murders, Lawrence Lovett and Demario Atwater, were both on probation at the time. The commission suggests greater oversight of high-risk offenders like Lovett and Atwater, with better training of mid-level managers and improving hiring practices.
John McCain and Sarah Palin have been campaigning together for a week and a half, and the American people are learning more and more about Alaska's governor. Bethany Tuggle says Palin is the focus of attention for both parties, including here on campus.
Young Democrat Secretary George Strometer says all we've learned about is Palin's personal life, and that the Democrats will be able to better form a strategy against Palin when they see where she stands on the issues.
What she's doing right now is kind of a job interview to be the second most important person in the free world, and while her personal story is great, it's not what we need to be hearing.
College Republican President Derek Belcher says it's good that people can relate to her on a personal level.
Because she's truly conservative, and so if you're really thinking about values and the issues, you know, we like people from small towns. They have small town values like us.
Palin has been a mayor and a governor, but some charge the media has concentrated not on her record, but on her pregnant teenage daughter.
I don't think the Democrats should necessarily attack people on moral grounds because they're not always the most on the most high road morally. So I think they should probably just leave that alone.
Drometer says the attacks came from the tabloid media, not his party.
Barack Obama himself said that her family's off limits, and I feel like any attacks at all have been coming from the tabloids, which is expected when you're thrust into the public spotlight out of nowhere.
One thing almost everyone agrees about, Sarah Palin has changed the complexion of the presidential race. In Chapel Hill, I'm Bethany Tuggle, Carolina Week.
Palin has a round of national interviews scheduled during the next several days, and members of both parties will be watching closely. The UNC Chapel Hill School of Journalism is helping cover the national election as part of ABC News on Campus. The network chose 5 top-notch journalism schools across the country to be part of the initiative, which launched this morning. J-School students here at Carolina will contribute pieces throughout the year for use on various media platforms. ABC designed this new arm of the network to groom and mentor aspiring journalists. To learn more, visit our website, carolinaweek.org.
Because of the recent rains, water levels are way up, and latest statistics from OWASA look promising. At the Chapel Hill Town Council meeting on Monday, OWASA Executive Director Ed Kerwin said reservoirs are 95% full. Last year at this time, they were only 66% full, and in 2002, only 39% full. Reports also show water demand is down and the possibility of a shortage is low. A new program planned for this spring at UNC will help make the area more drought-proof.
We treated wastewater from our Mason Farm wastewater treatment plant and pump a portion of that back to campus, where we'll use it, the university will use it in their chiller plants, also for irrigation instead of potable water.
The new project makes more drinking water available, but what's in all that water? OWASA recently tested water samples from 19 locations in the region. It found high levels of cancer-causing chemicals in the drinking water. The chemicals OWASA uses to disinfect the water react with natural matter already present, creating the cancer-causing agent. Officials say people have to drink water with high chemical levels for many years to be affected. They say it's nothing to worry about, and filtering the water can help put your mind at ease.
Don't take a deep breath. Morrison, Hinton James, and Airing House and Craig dorms all have asbestos in their walls. Residents received an email from the Department of Environment, Health, and Safety alerting them about the potentially cancerous material. Officials say there's no immediate health risk, but students shouldn't scrape, puncture, or tape their walls. Doing those things could force the asbestos into the air. Many students, like Morrison resident Catherine Foreman, aren't really worried.
Told that it wasn't much of anything to worry about because it's under a couple layers of paint. But I mean, the only thing that I'd be worried about was if I'd already put like tape on the walls that you weren't supposed to put on the walls, because they didn't warn us until like 3 weeks into school.
Some students have been keeping an eye out for holes in their walls and being very careful about how they put up their posters.
Well, some college-age smokers consider their habit to be social only and short-term, but a new report shows these habits might hang on long after graduation. Carolina Week's Lynn Keck has more.
21-year-old Christine Donovan started out as a part-time smoker.
I started smoking with friends, going out, and then in times when I was stressed, but then it turned into when I was stressed and then when I was relaxed and when I was sad and happy, and so it just became a every kind of situation sort of thing.
She says she'll quit eventually, but not just yet.
It's a love-hate relationship right now, and I'm waiting for it to be a little more overwhelmingly hate for it to happen.
Christine isn't alone, and the addiction can follow you after graduation. The American Lung Association released a report this week claiming that 1 in 5 college students will continue to smoke after graduating. Dr. Adam Goldstein, with the UNC Family Practice, has devoted much of his career to studying tobacco use and helping people quit. He says smoking sometimes, rather than all the time, isn't necessarily less damaging.
It's like jumping off the 5th store of the building rather than the 10th store of a building. You still get to the same end point.
Goldstein is happy about the steps UNC has taken recently to curb tobacco use on campus.
It creates an environment that is conducive to learning, not one conducive to tobacco addiction and the exposure to secondhand smoke.
However, there are areas on campus where students gather to smoke. It's unclear whether limiting where people can smoke has any effect on their efforts to kick the habit. As for Christine Donovan, she knows she'll face a difficult challenge when she finally decides it's time to quit. In Chapel Hill, I'm Lynn Keck for Carolina Week.
The American Lung Association report also suggests all college campuses be smoke-free by the year 2010. The Stone Center will host Olympic gold medal winner Tommy Smith tomorrow. That's what Smith says about the moment he saluted the world with his black gloved fist in the air. At the 1968 Olympic Games in Mexico, Smith's political statement stunned viewers more than the gold he won in the 200-meter dash or the world record he set that day. UNC students will be able to hear why Smith took a powerful stand against injustice at the Olympics as the Stone Center reflects on the significance of 1968 and 1969 in history. Well, it helps us to know a lot about history and a number of other subjects, too. Carrboro resident Kurt Davies is celebrating a national television appearance. Family and friends watched him compete in Jeopardy at the Orange County Social Club Tuesday night.
What is Sri Lanka? That's it.
The crowd cheered Davies on as he advanced to the second round. Davies said it was an honor to appear on this long-running game show.
Whoa, great. We have good news. We want you to be on the show. And I literally ran around my house 3 times, jumped up and down a lot.
Though Davies lost in the second round, his friends still call him a trivia whiz.
Members of the Panhellenic Council have taken extra steps to make sorority life a little safer. Sororities have hired more police to patrol the area surrounding their houses, and now free taxis are available. The girls present a card as a form of payment, and then the council will pay the taxi service. Panhellenic delegate Brianne Diverso describes it as a safe ride service.
It will mean, having that opportunity to take a taxi cab if you, don't have your credit card with you or your, cash, that kind of thing after you've left the library or something. So I think people are really excited about it.
The free taxi service is just for members of Panhellenic now, but the group hopes the university will take notice of the program and extend it to all of the students. Well, they don't call it a bull market for nothing.
We'll tell you what scientific research says about cows grazing.
Hey, there are a lot of ways we can help our community. Spending our money in Orange County, whether it's filling up the car or shopping at local businesses, helps maintain our roads, improves our children's schools, and creates jobs. Spending your money locally helps us all in a big way. So remember, shop Orange first.
Escucha Smokey antes de tratar.
Solo tú.
No juegues con fósforos, no juegues con fuego. No hay nada perturbable con la cual asustar a un pobre ratón sin casa en que vivir. Si un hermoso bosque es lo que deseas, no juegues con fósforos, no juegues con fuego.
Solo tú puedes prevenir los fuegos en áreas naturales.
It's that time of year when being a senior finally starts to sink in.
That's right, Carly, which can only mean one thing: senior shirts and stickers. Some students bought shirts and some students came for stickers, but they all had one underlying motive: to flaunt their senior status. The rush for shirts came immediately, sending senior marshals into a frenzy of shirt sales from boxes. In between sales and passing out stickers, marshals set up a tent for an afternoon of senior celebration. Senior Marshal Lauren DeMille says seniors want to get their hands on this coveted memorabilia.
It makes a public way of showing who you are, and the same thing goes for the stickers. They're immensely popular. On Fall Fest, they got rid of them in like an hour.
And if you didn't make it to the pit on Wednesday, that's okay. You can pick up your shirt on Thursday during Senior Bar Night at the library. The Arc of Orange County's new home is on North Columbia Street. Beauty queens, political figures, and community members came together Tuesday to celebrate the opening. The Arc works with and for community members who have developmental disabilities. Arc Executive Director Robin Baker, Senator Eleanor Kennard, and Mayor Kevin Foy cut the ribbon to officially open the Arc. After the ribbon-cutting ceremony, Franklin Street restaurateurs provided guests with refreshments. Arc staff members hope their new office location will prompt more people to get involved with their organization.
New research indicates cows face north-south when grazing or sleeping, but local farmers say their cows point towards the hay. Scientists say cows, just like some smaller animals, have a sense of direction. Researchers say that, like birds and fish, cows might have small magnetic particles in their brains which allow them to navigate. But scientists say the images they looked at weren't clear enough to tell which way the cows were facing. Chapel Hill cattle farmer Larry Sturdivant says his cows move together.
They all seem to probably go in the same direction. All of them do. You know, when they're grazing, they're eating, they'll go to like one point to the next, and they'll all sort of go as a group.
UNC is currently conducting similar research about how baby sea turtles navigate an ocean they've never set eyes on. The research will be complete in a couple of weeks. And how's that for an awkward transition?
I don't know how we're going to get out of this, but we do have Carolina Week weathercaster John Boyer to join us to tell us all about our week-long forecast.
That was awkward, but it was a good day to have your umbrella out. Today I'll let you know how much longer you're going to need to bring it with you, coming up next in weather.
Women's Center, may I help you?
The Women's Center is a nonprofit agency that has served as a meeting place for women in the Triangle since 1979, making it one of the oldest freestanding women's centers in the country. The mission of the Women's Center is to provide a supportive community where all women can inspire each other to grow, both personally and professionally.
I was going through a crisis at home, and I contacted Helpline, and they referred me directly to the Women's Center.
I think the Women's Center is really important for the community because it offers so many different kinds of resources, and if we don't have the resource here, we can find an avenue or a way for women to find the answers that they need.
It is inspiring. It's so exciting to be a part of something that really matters and really changes things.
You can support the Women's Center through membership or by sending a contribution to the Women's Center, 210 Henderson Street, Chapel Hill, North Carolina, 27514.
And welcome back to Carolina Week. I'm your weather broadcaster, John Boyer, here with your forecast for today. You'll notice we have a flash flood watch in effect for the Chapel Hill and all of central North Carolina through the overnight and into tomorrow. We've seen a lot of rain lately, and so any more rain that we get, especially if you get under a really heavy shower, really doesn't have anywhere to go. So watch those small streams and creeks as you're going around. The one bit of good news is that it's slowly heating up and that we have a sunny weekend in store. Now, here's one fun fact for you. 1 year ago today, the high temperature broke a record of 101 degrees. Last I checked today, it was 70 outside. That's 31 degrees cooler. So I'd say we're doing much better. Taking a look at North Carolina right now on our radar picture, you see that there is that large area of rain all throughout the central portion of the state. Some patches, perhaps, of some heavier rain as you go about, but mostly just a steady rain. You see not a lot of motion to this, so it'll stay with us overnight, tonight, perhaps into the morning hours of tomorrow. Now, zooming out and taking a look at all of the United States, you see that cold frontal boundary. It's not really moving much. So these showers over here extend all the way back through Tennessee, some into Texas as well. Now, these clear skies over the northeast, for our boys in the football game tomorrow evening in Piscataway, New Jersey, they'll have some nice temperatures, 65 degrees and clear skies for kickoff. Now, the surface map shows us that cold front in place with a lot of associated moisture causing those showers, high pressure to the north, but really not a lot of motion because as we look at tomorrow's surface map, still a lot of moisture in the area. That cold front falls apart a bit, but our flow is coming in off the ocean. So that's what will make it kind of cloudy, kind of dreary as you wake up tomorrow. What a lot of people are interested in is Hurricane Ike down in the Caribbean. You see it's gotten a lot better organized over the past few hours as it moves northwest of Cuba. If you look at the forecast track from the National Hurricane Center, you see that it's forecasted to strengthen as it moves off to the northwest, perhaps making landfall in Corpus Christi or somewhere in central Texas as a Category 3 hurricane. Now, they dealt with Dolly earlier in the year, so we certainly don't wish them any harm with that, but the forecast is not looking good for them. Now, here back closer to home for this weekend, if you're headed to the mountains, perhaps the Parkway, you've got a cool weekend in store for you, 80 or 81, but look at that chance for showers and thunderstorms Saturday and Sunday as that cold front still clears out very slowly. And if you're trying to get a little bit more summer in out at the beaches, you'll find that Sunday is actually going to be the better of the 2 days on the weekend. Still a small chance for showers and thunderstorms on Saturday afternoon, but I'd take the beach any day. So, looking at our 4-day forecast for Chapel Hill and the rest of the Triangle, you see tomorrow much cooler than we would expect for this time of year. 74 degrees with a High chance for rain and cloudiness, rather dreary in the morning hours. That'll clear out a little on Friday, maybe a few peaks of sunshine in there. Saturday will be warming up even more, 88 degrees, and then by Sunday we've got a clear day to look forward to.
Well, hopefully those boys who go up to Piscataway tomorrow do have those clear skies.
Yes.
Thank you, John.
Thanks.
We wish him luck.
Well, football season has officially begun, and some UNC students are excited about weekday games. The beginning of the fall semester means another shot at flag football glory. Hundreds of students, both male and female, sign up for their chance to win a coveted Carolina Blue Intramural Champion t-shirt. The energy during the game is competitive as some of the university's best athletes come out to play this popular sport, but for some students, competition isn't the most important thing. Well, Walter, we were just talking about flag football. Hopefully we'll cover them later in the semester, but Carolina football has a game tomorrow night.
You're absolutely right. It's going to be exciting as Carolina gets ready to take on Rutgers and looking for win number 2 on the season. Coming up in sports, the Tar Heels are hoping to take it to the end zone early and often against Rutgers.
There is really only one boy. One girl. One tree. One forest. One deep, dancing ocean. One mountain calling. One handful of sand through our fingers. One endless sky overhead. And one simple way to care for it all. Please visit earthshare.org and learn how the world's leading environmental groups are working together under one name, EarthShare. One environment, one simple way to care for it.
Local news outlets are reporting that a UNC athlete is in critical condition this evening. The News and Observer reports that coaches pulled sophomore swimmer Allison Barnes from the water during Tuesday afternoon's practice. The NNO says she's in critical condition at UNC hospitals. Barnes competes in the distance freestyle events. Can the Heels make it 2 in a row on the gridiron? Although Carolina won't be on its home field against Rutgers Thursday night, Heels fans will still be there in spirit. The Heels hope to have another spectacular performance from Brandon Tate, who finished with 397 all-purpose yards and 2 touchdowns against McNeese State. Carolina needs a solid performance from the defense and special teams, neither of which played that well in the first game. And UNC didn't win a single game on the road last year and hasn't won outside the state since 2002. Game time Thursday is 7 o'clock. And unfortunately for the Tar Heels, there are a lot of injuries this week on both sides of the ball. Darius Massenberg is out for sure, and Cooter Arnold, Lindwan Ewell, and Bobby Rome are questionable to play on Thursday. Charles Brown, LeCount Fantroy, and E.J. Wilson are also injured, but they are probable to play. And this is a crucial season for the football team, and Coach Butch Davis has brought a lot of change to the program. Phil Mitchell has the story of one change Davis hopes will help the team both now and in the future.
One key word for the UNC football team this season is transition. It continues to be a transition of coaches and possibly eras. Another transition beginning this year centers around last year's leading rusher for the Tar Heels, Johnny White. When returning to Chapel Hill after Christmas break, White learned the coaches were moving him from tailback to cornerback. He remembers his initial reaction.
I was a little nervous because I know how hard corner is at college and stuff. And I played tailback my whole life, so I hadn't been used to really playing corner, and it's going to be a tough transition.
White knows his transition will require extreme focus down to the slightest detail.
It's like so many small things that you have to pay attention to at corner that in the past, you can get away at tailback and stuff, but it's just a simple thing like corner that will mess you up.
Position changes can be a very difficult thing, especially when you're used to such success at one position. However, in the case of Johnny White, he has a mentor to look to who's made the same position change only a few months earlier. Richie Rich came into last season as the starting tailback, but with the emergence of talented players like White and Greg Little, The coaches switched Rich to cornerback halfway through the season.
I don't know how he did it. I had a whole spring to do it in training camp, and I'm still like far behind.
Despite feeling far behind, with help from Rich and the coaching staff, White thinks he'll be able to contribute at his new position. In Chapel Hill, I'm Phil Mitchell, Carolina Week.
UNC sports teams got a lot of support from fans, or get a lot of support from fans, and receive sideline motivation and spirit from the nationally ranked Tar Heels dance team. And when the team adds members, the coach looks for a certain type of person.
That can be on the sidelines for 3 hours and always be on, who can get along with other girls and with the coaching staff and be a good ambassador for your university. It takes a special individual that can, do those things week in and week out.
Your butt goes to the right, your hip comes out, and your head goes to the right.
And have fun. Out of the 40 girls, only 4 made the cut. The Carolina dance team will be performing at the rest of the season's home football games, and the girls will be putting their best foot forward during basketball season 2. I don't just talk about sports all day. I play for UNC's club roller hockey team, and we had a game on Monday night, and we whooped the Crusaders. See, here I am right there behind goal. Carolina came out winning on its mind, and they didn't back down. The Tar Heels easily went up 4-0, sneaking the puck right past the goalie again and again. UNC went on to win 6-2, and this was Carolina's last game before the playoffs. Captain Alex Pierce says he knew early it was going to be a good night.
When I scored my second goal, I was like, man, that goalie really sucks. But at the same time, I knew it was going to go in because I was sweet shot. So
a little roller hockey action for you. If you like that, come out, support the team. It's quite a bit of fun, and it's always rooting for the Tar Heels.
Walter, I hate to put you on the spot. Win-loss record?
Career-wise, well, let's say Monday was a very good night compared to most of the games that we play.
Thank you so much, Walter. That was a fun piece to see.
Thank you, guys.
Eating locally grown produce is healthy, it's delicious, and it's easy.
Coming up, check out a local produce jackpot.
When you buy disposable and overpackaged products for your home, you're really saying, I'm fine with depleting natural resources. Pollute our air and water. Energy? Wasted. People tell you, hey, go for less packaging. Check out reusables. Buy stuff in bulk. Well, you tell them, no thanks. I'd rather throw it all away. Buy smart. Waste less. Save more.
If you have a story idea, contact Carolina Week at 843-8292. You can also visit us online at carolinaweek.org. If you have questions about this program, write Carolina Week at Campus Box 3365, UNCCH, Chapel Hill, North Carolina, 27599.
College kids are all about saving money. So how can you avoid paying skyrocketing costs for gas while still eating your favorite foods? Hillary Shantz has the answer.
Students at UNC have a pretty good situation. At UNC, you can bike nearly anywhere, public transportation is free, and locally grown food is available only minutes away from campus.
So if you're ready for a quick trip to the Carborough Farmers Market, grab your bike, buckle your helmet, and follow me.
UNC senior Amanda Velasquez founded Healthy Hills, a cooking club on campus. She says the close proximity of fresh ingredients makes shopping at the Carborough Farmers Market easy.
It's about 3 blocks, so it's not too long that it takes to get here, and I usually take my bike or I walk, just depending on the day and what I'm up to beforehand.
The Carborough Farmers Market has been providing locally grown produce for 30 seasons. Eating locally grown food can have a big impact on your finances. UNC senior Sarah Whitley spent her summer working with the Department of Agriculture researching commodities markets. She explains the recent rise in food prices.
With rising oil prices, the production costs for farmers have increased, setting the stage for the food price increases seen in 2007 and 8.
Bottom line, buying locally means cheaper production costs for farmers and cheaper food prices for us. Good prices and almost no cost to get there. That's a pretty good combination. In Chapel Hill, I'm Hillary Schrontz, Carolina Week.
It's a great idea. That does it for this edition of Carolina Week.
Thanks for watching. Have a good night.